40 billion ringgit. This is the figure that came from the MM2H program since 2002. New regulations, how will this affect revenue? I'll be back in just a moment. Welcome and thanks for joining us on TV3's flagship business program, Money Matters. Malaysia, my second home, MM2H Consultants Association President Anthony Liu is here on this episode to discuss about the program. Welcome to the program, Anthony.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting.
You're welcome. It's good to have you with us. Yeah. Can I start by asking you, what do you think is the rationale behind the government's decision to change the existing conditions for the MM2H program?
As I know, because of Minister of Home Affairs always mentioned about the security issue. But of course, we have some minority issue of this security. But of course, I'm not sure why they want to change everything. Yeah, supposedly, if let's say for the security, of course they can enhance on it, tighten up on this security part. But of course, we can't say that. Why they mention and this, because haven't give us very details on why they want to change drastic change on these terms.
Right. So now, based on your feedback from the current pass holders already in Malaysia, what are their concerns with regard to the changes?
Okay, before when the government announced on 11th of August, they had mentioned that all the new terms implement to the existing holders also. But at that time, everyone is very insecure and very complained that this, because they already contribute to Malaysia, especially they buy house and then stay here and spend a lot of money. Then of course, if let's say they want to top up until 1 million, I think a lot of people are impossible. So of course, after few weeks ago, I think Minister of Home Affairs already mentioned only they need to fulfill 2 criteria. I mean, 90 ringgit visa fees until up 500 visa fees, and another one is 90 days per stay. So this one, I think a lot of existing is more secure. But of course, we are very how to say, we still have a concern that some of the people, they're planning for future. They cannot stay in Malaysia at this moment. So I hope that government will look into it, whether can do a survey again, whether all this for those who haven't stayed in Malaysia, whether they what is their planning. Yeah, and the rest is most concern is about this. Whether they want to top up the money, right. But since it's clear already, so I think a lot of people will be more secure and more safe to stay in Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah.
So now the program has been suspended since July 2020. So it's taken quite a while for them to come up with these regulations. But looking at the regulations that's now put in place for the number of current pass holders in the MM2H program, how many of them have decided to leave this program? I mean, those that are already in Malaysia under the program. Do you have a number that those who want to leave because of these new regulations?
Because of new regulation, so far, okay, I can put it this way. From last year, I have a figure. Last year, the MCO onwards until August 27, is almost 700 families terminated. So of course, when 11 August announced, a lot of applicants, existing holder, they are terminated also.
But 700 families, that's quite a large number. What are their reasons for leaving?
Yeah, for that period, because you can see that pandemic issue, they cannot come into Malaysia that certain period. Then some of them, they move around. they cannot go back to their home country, they cannot come back to Malaysia.
Right.
Sometimes they have put. And then some of the issue is like they feel that their home country more safer. Then they leave Malaysia.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then some of that is a economic issue,
right?
Because you know that pandemic is caused a lot of money income, lost a lot of money income. I think some of that they need money, then they go back.
Right. So what about now, especially since the government the government has announced the new regulations? Are you getting any feedback from families that want to leave after the government has announced the regulations?
Yes, at that moment, 11 August. After announced, we heard a lot of complaint, and then they said they want to terminate all this, the program, and going. We did some survey. At that period, I think about 90% of the people they are going to drop the MM2H.
Right.
At that time. So and then we survey also the next city where they want to go. They were going to Thailand.
Going to Thailand?
Yes.
Does Thailand have a similar program to MM2H?
Yeah, they have a retirement plan, they have the elite program, so they're quite flexible actually. They have different requirements, so which one you suit to that requirement, then you can apply that.
Okay, that's interesting to note. Now, the existing program holders would be tied up, I have to read on this, to two new conditions: a fee increase of 90 ringgit to 500 ringgit a year, if I'm correct, and the requirement to stay in the country for a minimum of 90 days a year. So how much time do you think the program holders need to comply with this?
I think for existing customers who stay in Malaysia, normally they don't have issue on 90 days.
Right.
All right. But of course, the 500, some of that may feel that is jump too high, too fast, from 90 to 500. But of course, government needs more contribution from them. So I think they have to fulfill.
Right.
Then for 90 days, if not mistaken, our minister have mentioned that dependents also in count. So that's why means if let's say main applicant haven't come in, and then the dependent is here, then they can accumulate together until 90 days per year.
Right. Okay. Anthony, hold that thought. We've just got to go for a short break right now. So in the meantime, let us know your thoughts on the discussion on Twitter, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, and you're still with us on Money Matters as we speak with Anthony Liu, President of the Malaysia My Second Home Consultants Association. Now, Anthony, the government has said that these new regulations are to bring in good quality participants for the program. So based on your understanding, what are these good quality participants?
Okay, for my opinion, actually good quality person is not necessarily is a very rich person. But according to what the government mentioned, they hope that the rich people will be the high quality, high net worth quality person. So, of course, in my opinion, perhaps we can consider high quality means not only rich people, but it's different qualification. Yeah, so we hope that government have a different angle to see on this quality person.
Right.
Yeah.
But getting back to the association that you're with, right? Do you also have to vet through in terms of who these people are if they were to come in for the program?
Yeah, actually before we submit all the documents to the government, so actually we will go through all these documents. Is it they fulfill this letter of conduct, because they need to submit the letter of conduct, and then I think government also go through to check on their background as well.
Right.
So I think if let's say government have a different way to check on this letter of conduct, maybe can tighten up or maybe have to positive check or something, then I think it's good enough. Yeah.
Right. Now, you earlier in the first block, you mentioned that there were security issues that was raised up by KDN. So do you have any idea as to what the security issues are?
Okay, as I know, before that, I think last year, some of the reporters asked me also, because the issue of this North Korea, they mentioned they have some spy, but using the MM2H. Yeah, and then of course this North Korea also not many cases. It's very minority in total, and then of course have some like money game or money laundry cases, but all is quite minority. So because we always mentioned that other passes or other visa, they have some misuse issue also, but not necessarily is MM2H. Of course, we say that security is must to secure. But of course, we see whether can enhance on this security or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now moving on to reports that we got in 2018 that said 4.4 billion ringgit was brought in through the program in 2018 on property, rental of vehicles, immigration fees, etc. So there was a lot of various contributions to education, travel, and hospitality. So different industries benefit from this program. So how do you think these new conditions will affect the revenue?
Yeah, I mean, we all members, also agency, we say that this definitely will affect it. Yeah, because we have our own survey amongst our stakeholders. Then most of them only have 5% confidence to promote the new terms MM2H. So you can see that if let's say 5% or 10%, even 10%, previously it's about 5,000 average. So 10% means about 500 cases. Last time is 5,000. So you can see that it's much different.
Right. So the promotion of the MM2H campaign, is it done by agencies like you, or are you dependent on MOTAC to promote the program? No,
actually, all our agencies put their own effort to spend money in the overseas and do a talk and a seminar by their own expenses. So of course, MOTAC once a while have mentioned that they have some program or travel program in certain country. They ask us to join, then we will join. But mostly it's our MM2H agency. We use their own money to spend in overseas and then to promote Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned just now about high quality participants, right? Because there have been some reports as well that said that the program, because you want to attract high quality participants to Malaysia, it has become more exclusive. yet the terms are not attractive to bring them in. What do you think?
Yeah, according to the certain terms like offshore income, last time is 10,000, now become is 40,000. You will see that a lot of people mention that if let's say I have so much money, I have a lot of choices, right? And if let's say comes to 90 days, it seems like PR's terms.
Okay.
All right. So some of the people mentioned that if I have this money, I can choose other country. Asian country have a lot similar program, like Indonesia, they have their own program. As just now I mentioned, there is Thailand and Philippines also have. And then even though Dubai, they all also have certain like a long-term program, long stay program. Right.
So initially, when we were attracting participants to come, what were they attracted by to come to Malaysia?
All right. Few things are still attractive. It means that your income comes to Malaysia is free tax.
Right.
All right. And is considered as zero risk because all the money come into Malaysia, deposit into the bank also. When you terminate, then you can bring them out.
Right.
So everything you can bring out.
Okay, Anthony, we just got to go for our final break. Do stay tuned for more on the discussion, and remember to share your thoughts with us on Twitter, so don't go anywhere. Thank you for staying with us on Money Matters. Now, Anthony, the new conditions include, which you've mentioned, higher compulsory FDs in local banks amounting to 1 million ringgit as compared to 150,000 and 300,000 previously, and offshore monthly income of 40,000 from 10,000 ringgit, and liquid assets of 1.5 million compared with 300,000 and 500,000 previously. Now, looking at this, how many percentage of these holders will not qualify under the present regulations of those wanting to come in?
Okay, actually we did a survey. I've mentioned that if almost 90% of the existing holders did not qualify, or they are not interested also. And if let's say they ask them to top up, I think about 30% only they are fulfilling.
Right.
So you will see that. But some of the people, even though they fulfill it, but they are not interested.
Not interested. Yeah.
If let's say you want to ask them to put so much money inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because before that, incoming is a different. Much lower threshold. then now becomes so high. So I think they might not interested.
Right. You mentioned just now regarding the security issue, which you said is just a fraction of what the government has said is an issue why these regulations are being changed. But did your association engage with the government where security issue is concerned?
Yeah, actually, we did engage one of the division. They have mentioned to us that they have some issue on this security issue. And then they said that they have mentioned in the special committee when they have meeting, then only we know they have some security issue. But of course, the division, they mentioned to us that they should overcome on it, and then they can enhance it or tighten up the security issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, looking at the program, because MOTEC has been handling this from 2006 until 2018. Then after that, it was a shared chairmanship, can I use that word, between KDN and MOTEC.
Yeah.
So looking at how to move this program forward, is your preference with MOTEC to handle this or KDN?
Okay, I can say that MOTEC is considered the promoting. They are more flexible on certain things. Yeah, then like KDN is more on security side. So I'm hoping that this condition actually is good, because we can see that we quite happy with MOTEC as well. They have a MM2H center. Everything we can, because one center easier to communicate. And of course now we cannot say prefer to which ministry. But of course we can see that MOTEC, they always go and promote all these things. Right. So we will see that is can see that the figures going up fast.
Right. So you mentioned just now that a lot of the participants who wanted to come to Malaysia actually are looking at other countries as well, like Thailand as well. So do you think that there's a way that perhaps we can get them to re-look into coming back to Malaysia?
If let's say some of the criteria, I mean some of the terms, if let's say got adjustment, amend a bit, I think still have a potential client, because Malaysia is a very good country, and then it's a multicultural and multi-language. Very easier to go into Malaysia. I mean, quite good communication with Malaysian as well. So if let's say government can adjust or amend some terms, I think it will be better.
Right.
Yeah.
So looking at the number of participants that wanted to come in Malaysia, do you have any idea or a breakdown of which were the countries that wanted to, I mean, which of the participants, which country were they from? Japan, for example?
From previous record, I think China is the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Chinese is the most. And then second is Japanese. And then, of course, third is Bangladesh, the rich Bangladesh.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously, this would affect other states as well, not just Malaysia. We're talking about states within Malaysia. But from what we understand, there are states with different programs as well. So will they be affected by these new regulations?
You mean the existing holder?
No, the future participants that want to come in.
Future participants, of course, we mentioned that the terms, of course, affected them, because before that, I think 2019 October until 2020 June, they have about 5,000 cases, 5,396 cases is not processed, and then all the file being returned. All right. So we also hope that government can look into it, and then hope that they can process them. But of course, we haven't known everything from the government yet.
Right.
Yeah. So I think potentially still have, but maybe will you can see that drop tremendously.
Right.
Yeah.
So looking at this, are you looking to still appeal against the criteria imposed by the government?
Yeah, actually, Okay, actually we have did a lot of proposal, and then we use many channels to approach. So we already sent our proposal to KDN, and then of course I'm not sure whether they have gone through our proposal, and then will them look into the proposal, and then will ask for us to have a dialogue or not.
Right.
Yeah.
So looking at the proposals, what is the main proposal that you are giving to the government?
Yeah, the main proposal is that because of the 10,000 to the 40,000, the offshore income. Then we hope that can be in the middle side, about 20,000 maybe.
Right.
Right, and then the fixed deposit in the local bank. Previously, because last time it's only 150,000 for 50 years old and above. So now it becomes 1 million. It's up about more than 6 times.
Right.
All right, and then 300,000 become 1 million is 3 times, more than 3 times or so. So we hope that government can look into it and then have some adjustment on that.
Will the minimum stay be an issue?
Yes. If let's say for one person who comes here, then perhaps it's an issue. If let's say government can consider all these new potential customer, they can accumulate all this stay together, all the main applicant dependents they can accumulate, then should be better.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you appealing against the visa duration as well? Because before it was 10 years renewable, and currently it's 5 years renewable for another 5 years. So wouldn't this affect, the participants who are already here that's saying that we are not sure whether we can get another 5 years?
If let's say they can fulfill this, the visa fees, I think is no issue. Just that the 90 days stays, if let's say they have no issue, I don't think that they have any more issues. Unless they can't fulfill the 90 days, then of course this has become an issue.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you confident that the government will take into account your proposals?
I hope so, but I don't have confidence.
Okay. Anthony, on that note, thank you very much for appearing on Money Matters. It's been a pleasure having you with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
That's all the time we have for the program this week. Again, thank you, Anthony Liu, for joining us on Money Matters. To our viewers, do come back to the show next week, same day and same time, for more money insights that matter. Until then, I'm Zahir Kelvinong Abdullah. Bye for now and stay safe.